Star Wars fans, the return of the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker himself, is here. And no, I'm not talking about Hayden Christensen's return to the role in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, nor his possible appearance in the Ahsoka show as a Force Ghost. I'm talking about the Shadow of the Sith novel that comes out this June 28th. A new excerpt has been released, and it is mind-blowing. Anakin Skywalker is back. Let's get right into all of this crazy stuff right now. What's up, guys? Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars here. So today we're talking about the Shadow of the Sith novel. It comes out this June 28th. There's a few big books that come out for Star Wars this year, but this one is really big. It's following Luke Skywalker and Lando Calrissian in that gap between 6 and 7, Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. And this is post the Mando timeline right now. It's a lot later when Luke's a lot older. And pretty much the gist of the story is that Lando comes to Luke and says, I've heard some rumors of the Sith returning, and Luke's having these nightmares about Exegol, which he doesn't really know at the time is Exegol, but he's having these nightmares that the Sith are coming back. So Lando coming to him saying that the Sith are returning, he's like, all right, we got to figure this stuff out. We finally get the first excerpt of this book. It's like kind of like a trailer almost for the book on StarWars.com. If you want to go find it. But pretty much all it's saying is that this is going to be an insane book, and you're going to want to read it because this excerpt is mind-blowing. It starts with a brief summary of what I just said, Lando coming to find Luke because he hears about the Sith rising back up and Luke having these nightmares. But what the scene is actually talking about is Luke being on the Seeing Stone on Tython and being transported to Exegol. Almost like what happens in The Last Jedi, where he transports his essence or whatever. He teleports himself as a hologram across the galaxy to fight Kylo Ren at the end of The Last Jedi. This is like a prelude to that. He's kind of figuring out that he has this power, and he pretty much teleports himself from the Seeing Stone on Tython to Exegol. And he immediately realizes that this is the spot from his nightmares. This is where he's been seeing, and these 9 shadowy figures show up around him, all with lightsabers. And he can't fight them, he can't touch them. Every time he swings a blade at them, they just disappear. It's pretty weird. It's a crazy scene. You should go read it, definitely. But at the end, somebody comes to save him. Luke's about to get struck down by all 9 of these weird shadowy figures. They're these tall shadowy figures. They could be Snoke clones. They kind of allude to that, but I think they're just some Sith cultists. That there's 9 of them in hoods. You kind of see them in The Rise of Skywalker in the background. These Sith cultists on Exegol with the Emperor. Could be Snoke clones. Who knows? But they're all about to strike Luke down at the same time, and Luke sees this blue blade come out of nowhere, this light blue figure in a hood, and kills all 9 of them, whatever. Turns to him with his hand reached out, and it is freaking Anakin Skywalker. Luke takes his hand, and it all fades to white. So that's it. That's the cliffhanger. You got to go read the book June 28th, whatever. So you're telling me that Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker are holding hands in the Force. So you're telling me that Luke Skywalker, who is clearly undoubtedly going to be the most powerful Force user, they're going to create him even more powerful than he was in Legends. He can teleport himself pretty much anywhere across. Sitting on the Seeing Stone, the Seeing Stone has, of course, its own powers within itself, but sitting on that Seeing Stone teleports him to Exegol. And he's not actually there. Obviously, it's like he was in The Last Jedi. He's not actually there, but he's on Exegol. And there's these 9 shadowy figures, and Anakin Skywalker comes to save him. We know from the Darth Vader comics that Darth Vader actually did know about Exegol, which is strange because at the end of Return of the Jedi, he wasn't like, hey, Luke, there's this place, Exegol, where there's hundreds of these Star Destroyers that can take out planets. You might want to go find that. No, that doesn't happen. That's not a scene in Return of the Jedi. But he does know about Exegol. Darth Vader knows about Exegol. Anakin Skywalker knows about Exegol. But the coolest part is what happens after this scene. Why does it just fade to white? Does he end up back on Tython and he's like in The Last Jedi where he's wicked out of breath and Lando's there with him and then he's like, oh, what happened? No, I think it's going to teleport them somewhere else in the galaxy where he's going to have an actual conversation with his dad. And we're not talking about a old, broken down Darth Vader dead Force Ghost. We're talking about a young Revenge of the Sith Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen Anakin Skywalker Force Ghost, like we saw in the new versions of Return of the Jedi. Yes, that was updated. It used to be the old actor who died as Darth Vader as the Force Ghost standing on Endor, but is now Hayden Christensen in the new versions of the movie. So that is the new Force Ghost of Anakin. It is Hayden Christensen's Force Ghost. So that's who Luke Skywalker, an older Luke Skywalker at this time, will be seeing, a young 22-year-old version of his dad, and he takes his hand, and maybe he has a conversation with him. We don't know what's going on. We don't know how many conversations he's had with his Force Ghost dad. And the fact that he can come back and actually swing a lightsaber is insane. The fact that he has any ability to affect this world, the actual real world, from the afterlife is pretty insane. The line from Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope, "Strike me down and I will become more powerful than I ever was," is more true now than ever, and they're trying to run with that. They're trying to run with that and give Luke more power in The Rise of Skywalker. After he's gone, he can grab the lightsaber when Rey tries to throw it into the fire. And now we have Anakin Skywalker saving Luke Skywalker's life. We don't know if he was actually there or not, if he actually would have died if he got struck down by these 9 shadowy figures, but Anakin Skywalker steps in and saves his day, and Luke actually grabs his hand as a Force Ghost. What does this mean? Could we get more Anakin Skywalker in this time between 6 and 7? Why didn't he show up in the sequel trilogy 7, 8, and 9? What's going to happen with Luke as a Force Ghost after 9? Is Rey going to actually have training with Luke still after 9? What is going on? What does any of this mean? Rey has no qualifications to start a Jedi Temple, but we know that she's going to be. But is Luke going to help her? Is Anakin going to help her? Is Obi-Wan? Are all these people who are Force Ghosts now the ones that we know of that are Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Anakin, and Luke now, and Leia now? Are they all going to help Rey train a new Jedi Order with attachments or whatever? What does this mean? Anakin Skywalker being able to show up and save Luke Skywalker from 9 shadowy figures on Exegol. Honestly, I think they could do it. I think they could pull this off. I think the one bad year, if you like the sequels or you don't, could just be one bad year. It could just be one bad year. The time gap, 30 years between 6 and 7, gets filled in by The Mandalorian and this crazy story of Luke and Lando going to find Exegol. I would love the sequels even more just based off of that. And then you have more stuff after it. A Finn show, a Rey's New Jedi Order show, Poe Dameron in the Rogue Squadron's movie as a fighter pilot. All the coolest scenes in the sequel trilogy are the X-Wing scenes where Poe Dameron's flying around shooting stuff down. They could really pull this off. They could pull this off great, and the sequel trilogy might be looked at a lot better. This is like the prequel trilogy post the Clone Wars. You watch the Clone Wars now, and the sequel trilogy gets that much better. This could be that. Anakin Skywalker coming back, helping Luke Skywalker, Luke Skywalker's redemption, Lando Calrissian working with Luke Skywalker to find Exegol and the Sith presence, and Snoke and Palpatine and all this, the First Order rising up to power, Leia losing her power, Leia and Han breaking up. All this could fix the sequels. And the post-sequel stuff could even fix the sequels. The stuff that redeems these characters, Rey, Finn, Poe, even Ben Solo. All this stuff could fix the sequels. And maybe you're saying, fix the sequels. There's nothing wrong with the sequels, and that's okay with you. But why not add on stuff? I'm sure you won't be opposed to adding on things. It's not going to change the sequels at all. It's just going to make their good parts better and try to uplift their bad parts. So tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think that this is just no big deal and it was just all a hallucination of Luke and he actually wasn't on Exegol, he was just on Tython on the Seeing Stone and he was just seeing something? Or was this actually him doing the first part of his training to get to that point where he could actually do that maneuver in The Last Jedi where he shows up on Crate and fights Kylo Ren? But this is the first time he does it on the Seeing Stone on Tython and teleports himself to Exegol in an unknown region of the galaxy, fights off against these 9 ghostly figures, and Anakin Skywalker shows up to save his life and takes his hand and it goes to white. I can't wait to buy this book on June 28th and read what the hell happens next in this scene. But tell me in the comments what you think's going on. Smash like if you like this video, hit subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video. My pretty face will show up in that recommended feed of yours. But June 28th is right around the corner, and I can't wait to see how this ends, because this could be a game changer for the sequel trilogy and for Star Wars for the future. Because if Luke, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and all those Force Ghosts can interact with the real world in a real way in the future, post-sequel trilogy with Rey and her new Jedi Order, a council of Force Ghosts, as it were, this would be insane. But we'll just have to wait and see. June 28th is right around the corner. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show comes out before that, and then we'll just keep going from there, because it's going to be unbelievable time to be a Star Wars fan. So may the Force be with you always.